Hello, everyone. I think we can start. So please give us some feedback whether you can hear us. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. And we're really sorry for the delay. Unfortunately, I didn't have any connection, internet connection. And we will try to make it brief. And let's get down to it. Let's change the slides and let's start with the new digital evolution presentation. So we're talking about digital guarantees just a click away. So what does it mean? It means the new frontier of digital finance. And now we will try to explain to you what our company came up with in order to help all the people and all companies and financial institutions in getting out of this period with minimum damage. I'm talking about the whole pandemic situation and the economic crisis situation. But first, I would like to tell you about the story of our project. And well, here you can see who I am and my titles. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Emanuele Baroni. I'm representative of Ambassadors Council in Italy. I'm a vice president in the affiliate program of Evorich. I'm a project manager for NDE, Digital Guarantees Project. I'm a certified master profit coach. I'm the certified host of Genius of Finance, member of the Association Generals of the World for Peace, because of course, peace is a prerequisite for any progress. And we have to make sure that we have the world peace for us to be able to enjoy all the benefits that we're going for, that we're striving for. I'm also an international speaker, a private investor, and a co-owner of our global investment portfolio, as many of you are. And now it is a big honor for me to be talking to you about this project. So let's see what our program is. And let's talk about who we are, where we're from, what we offer, what the NDE mission is, who the end user of our project is, what instruments we offer, and we'll talk about the digital rating, the new professions created by this project, and how you can run your NDE business. Let's change the slides. And let's talk a little bit about this project's history. As you can see, in 2011, it was all started with the Academy of Private Investors. And then in 2019, the educational program Crypto Unit appeared. And then in 2021, we conceptualized and started implementing our own spin-off project, the NDE, the Digital Guarantees, the new digital evolution. And let's see what happened in 2011 and in the next 10 years to come. And in here, you can see that the Academy was founded in 2011. And since then, it has turned into a global online portal with more than 10 years of experience, more than 1.6 million registered users from 176 countries worldwide. Our company has teachers with huge experience in investments and finance. We are providing practical training in finance, investment, and personal growth, and of course, finance too. We are also holding training courses, group sessions, one-to-one trainings, and mentorship if you need it. So Academy does it all. And I would like to show you a really short video which will briefly describe you what the Academy is doing.
Academy of a Private Investor. Who are we? We are an efficient educational system in 21st century. And every day, we work hard to get better. We teach how to manage money, how to multiply it and use it reasonably. We give people a complete picture of finance and investment science, personal development and business in 179 countries around the world. We have created and successfully used a variety of programs and workshops that help dozens of thousands of trained and successful investors to enter the market. Our students become investment advisors, portfolio managers, and stock analysts. We train to find, analyze, and select tools for successful business development in 20 segments of market. We teach to create investment portfolios and manage it by applying gained knowledge in practice. We support the initiatives of our students and are always open to venture projects. We are ready to bet on the future technologies. We unite people and show the path to financial freedom. We develop you and guide to creation of a new reality, according to the concept of the new economic evolution of the world. Instead of asking, how much do we earn, it is much more important to understand how we should preserve and increase earnings. And we have answers to these questions. We are the Academy of a Private Investors. We have updated our brand to achieve greater efficiency, global reach, and ability to share even more knowledge. For people. For you.
Well, hopefully it's more or less clear to you. And I wanted to show this video to you for you to have an idea what we are trying to achieve. We would like to shape investment-driven thinking in people because the world has changed and we have already entered the age of digital technologies, and people need to start embracing this new financial paradigm. And it is not only important now to know how to make money or where to make money. It is very important for people to know how to manage their capital and how to multiply it. And that's why we are teaching people how to achieve that goal and how to achieve financial freedom and independence. And I would like you to listen to our CEO, Andrey, who will tell you about the 5 principles. So let's watch one more video. It will take like a minute or two, but it is very important video.
I'm Andrey and I'm here to present a new course called 8 Rules of Wealth. In this course, you will learn how you can use 8 fundamental rules to become rich in a very short time. What is true wealth? It can be compared to the 5 fingers. It takes 5 fingers to make a hand, not one, this, or that. In the same way, true wealth consists of 5 essential elements. Number 1 is health. To be rich, you need to be healthy. 2 is attitude. We need to develop the right attitude to yourself, to the loved ones, to people, to the city, to the planet, to the country you live in. 3 is emotions. One should always have a very high emotional level in order to develop the right attitude. 4 is financial independence. Many people aim for money, want to become financially rich, but you can imagine a man with one finger. He will be a freak, and that is why you need to develop harmoniously. And 5 is calling. This is what a coherent model of a rich person's development looks like. This is what you and I are going to talk about when we embark on 8 rules of wealth.
So you see, the last element here is mission. And what our mission is the new economic evolution of the world, which is global distribution of wealth, security and safety, and protection, and helping others. Because we are approaching the 2 million mark, 2 million people mark, who can help other people, other companies to make the life better across the world. Prosperity and happiness and fulfilling dreams is the reasons why crypto unit program was launched. And now let's take a look at a second component, important component of our activity. And let's see what the mission is here, which is the implementation of the new economic evolution of the world, in order for all the partners to enjoy the results or the yield from our assets. So let's follow our history here. As you can see, Crypto Unit was launched in 2019 as an innovative training program that provides everyone with the opportunity to learn and become a co-owner of the WCRU global portfolio, even with minimum resources. So the portfolio is split into a lot of small parts, and people who buy the token WCRU become co-owners in the portfolio. And this portfolio covers a lot of different companies and projects within the Evorich ecosystem. And let's take a look at what has been achieved so far in 2 years. Let's take a look at those 5 milestones. On the 30th of March 2019, the crypto unit program was launched. 9 months later, on the 8th of January, we transitioned to the second part of development. So what does it mean? It means that in 9 months, we ran the pre-launch of our project. We explained to them what we were going to do. We provided information to millions of people. We explained to them the fundamental difference of this project. And on the 19th of April 2020, we started migrating our data to blockchain, our blockchain. And several months later, after all the data has been migrated to the blockchain, we applied to the SEC for the permit to launch security token offering through the Swiss company UGPay AG, who now has all the necessary license and permits. Well, unfortunately, the pandemic changes the entire paradigm of the financial world. And in this particular context, we needed something new, some new instrument that could help both companies and individuals. That's why on the 28th of January 2021, after almost a year of preparation and detailed research of all the relevant laws, the NEEW project was launched, the new digital evolution, digital guarantees. And now let's go to the next slide and talk about it more in detail. So why new digital evolution was created for? So the answer here is quite simple, but at the same time, it's quite complex too. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic that affected not just one single region or a country, but the entire globe over the last, a year, even more, the world is trying to fight this whole pandemic and economic crisis. People have to stay home, they lose their jobs, companies go bankrupt, and even people who manage to retain their jobs still find it hard to make the ends meet. And let's see what happens. What we have here, we have articles from different Italian newspapers, but I'm sure the headlines are the same across the world. People are getting fired. They can't pay loans to the banks anymore. They can't pay make their credit payments and so on. And those people who relied on borrowed money very often don't have the necessary guarantees that they can offer to banks as collateral. And individuals and companies alike lost their credit worthiness, the so-called solvency. Sometimes even your apartment is not collateral enough to receive a loan. And you might be an honest worker, but in the eyes of the bank, in the financial sector, you might not be credit worthy anymore. Maybe you missed on one of your payments to the bank, and that's it. Just because you experienced difficulties in your business or in your job. Maybe the employer didn't pay your salary on time and it did not depend on you at all. So let's talk about our mission. Our mission is to give hope to people, to create a sustainable and fast digital rating for individuals and companies through our tokens. And here, I reiterate, it is intended both for individuals and legal entities, companies and businesses. So we're talking about an instrument that would serve the purpose of financial guarantees for financial institutions to give people their solvency, their credit worthiness back to them. And then companies will be able to go into new markets and offer new jobs to quite a lot of people. This is our mission. And I urge you also to tell everyone else that there is hope. We can offer the required instruments. And whereas now we can call it hope, but it will very soon turn into reliable instrument, which will be available to everyone. Let's go to the next slide. And let's take a look at the advantages of the centralized rating for companies. So what does it mean? It means that you can have immediate, instant access to it. It will take several seconds, 1 minute tops. So there are no time losses whatsoever. Because with the traditional banking guarantees, a person has to submit quite a lot of documents to the bank, and then waits for several months for the reply. Thanks to the centralized rating, companies can have their rating checked simply with just one click. And that's how you're going to avoid any time losses. You will have fast financial operations. Everything is secure because it is run on the blockchain. Therefore, absolute reliability and security is guaranteed. Plus, it boosts the financial effectiveness of the entire process. And these are just some of the advantages that the participation in the digital guarantees can offer. And now let's take a look how traditional banking guarantees work. The guarantees that have been in place for dozens of years, but almost 90% of companies don't have access to that mechanism, that system anymore. But let's see whether this system was indeed convenient and accessible and affordable. And if I own a company, I had to be included in the financial rating category A. My company had to make a non-refundable fee from 2 to 15% of the required amount. And then time required to deposit, to defrost, to unlock the deposit at the end of the payment could vary from country to country, but it was quite long. And for example, if I deposited some capital or property as collateral, usually it had to be equal to 100% of the value. Its value should have been 100% equal to the amount that I want to borrow. And after I deposited this capital as collateral, it stayed frozen with the bank for quite some time. In some countries, it could have been up to half a year. And if you have to wait for 3-4 months to have access to your own money, to your own capital, your own property, then it means you couldn't effectively use it. You weren't able to be completely free in your financial decisions, making deals, closing deals. And then the terms of issue, or the time for the guarantees to be issued, sometimes could be 90 to 120 days. And today, with just one click, you can receive your digital guarantees immediately. And in the matter of a couple of days, you can receive your borrowed funds that you need today. And this is a huge difference between the traditional system and the system we're offering. And let's go to the next slide and try to understand what kind of possibilities you get if you apply digital guarantees, in what areas, in what sectors you can use our product. As I already said, here you have instant advice on blockchain certified digital ranking. And I have my digital wallet, and that digital wallet is on a blockchain, and it allows me to perform guaranteed instant electronic payments. It allows me to sign contracts and execute those contracts, including car and equipment rentals, leases, and also an apartment rent too, or a house rent. Also, I will have a dedicated digital escrow account. It's something like something like a notary deed. Usually, those instruments are used for transactions with precious metals or precious stones. It can be some deferred payment deals. Also, It ensures guaranteed payment of installments. It allows or provides for monthly credit limits with the suppliers and distributors of raw materials. And also, it's a very convenient B2B platform. Both the supplier and the client feel rest well at ease, like can rest assured, and they don't have to stress about the financial problems, and instead they can work and develop in the atmosphere of absolute like calmness. And in 10 days at our live event in Rome, we will explain all the details of our project and about Ugain too. In Rome, again, in the studio Cinecittà World, we will hold a major live conference. And you can come yourself and attend our Congress. But also, you have a possibility for a couple of dozen euros or dollars participate in the broadcasting, online broadcasting of our Congress. And also, you will have access to the recording and then rewatch all of our materials at a time convenient to you. And we will give you an absolutely new vision of how to do business. And it will all be accessible from the 5th of July. It's an absolutely new paradigm, and it's an absolutely new set of opportunities that will fill you with energy, that give enthusiasm to you, and you will be able to start working in a completely new way. And I'm saying this not because I'm the project manager, but because it is really important for all of us. And let's talk about digital rating innovation and the list of registries. So what we're going to do, we're going to create lists, registers, in order to speed up all the checks, all the inspections. We don't want it to be too complicated or unclear for common users. Therefore, we will split our rating into several registers. The first registry will be dedicated to governments, municipalities, other state authorities, bodies. Then the second registry will be dedicated to the banks, financial organizations, investment funds, and so on. Maybe insurance companies too. Also, we will gonna have the registry of enterprises, which will have its own subcategories for us to be able to find companies that work in a specific sector. And also we will have a private persons registry. You see in the brackets, in the case of enterprises, it says vocational training, and then in the private persons item, it says basic training. Of course, people very often don't know how the world of finance, digital guarantees, taxation works. That's why training is needed. People might not be entirely confident, or they might not be computer literate. That's why we developed education courses split into blocks. There will be a certain number of lectures, sessions. And I think this course is literally going to be a must for everyone. And I'm sure that very soon, this whole information, this knowledge will be a part of your everyday life. Like, right now, it's quite easy for us to top up our mobile account or internet account And 20 years ago, it seemed like rocket science, but not anymore. And the same here. And on this slide, you can see the keyword of our project, which is reliability. That's what we lack. You can be an absolutely honest person. You can be a very hardworking person. You can be a person who are doing their best to resolve the whole situation. But what we lack is reliability in the eyes of other people and financial organizations. Those people who give us funds or supply us with materials, raw materials, goods and commodities. And those companies, those counterparties, that do not really know whether we are reliable or not. And thanks to our registry, we will again seem reliable to all of our counterparties, business partners. So we will be able to capitalize our registry, every specific category of our registry. And we will be able to guarantee, among other things, to governments, financial organizations, municipalities, and local administration. We can give them guarantees of performance. You know, when there is a tender going on, companies are required to provide performance guarantees. And now, thanks to the digital rating and digital guarantees, even small-time companies will be able to provide such performance guarantees, and they will be able to participate in public procurement contracts, tenders, governmental tenders. And also, they will be able to receive staking income for the companies that will enter the project before its official launch, before the opening of the back office. It is very important to note that all those rewards will be offered, possibilities like stake and reward will be offered only after the back office is launched, which is already 100% ready and will be launched in July. And those companies that will join us before the opening of the back office personal account will enjoy certain advantages, such as I said, income from staking, the staking of the security token on our blockchain. It's tokens that we're going to rent out to you or to companies. So all you'll have to do is to pay for the code to be included into our registry. You will be able to rent our tokens. And for 10 years, you will be able to enjoy the rewards from staking our security tokens. And the rewards already will be enough, staking income will already be enough to cover the training costs or any other costs. So let's see what companies are able to do if they are included into our registry. So they will be able to use guarantees in the dealings between companies and company and a company and a private individual, a company and a bank, and the company and the government, the state. But of course, it all depends on the volume of the transaction value. And usually the biggest volume is insured by companies, legal entities, because there are so many companies worldwide. And very often it happens that a supplier, a client has money, the supplier has raw materials or some kind of other commodities, but very often two companies from different parts of the world do not trust each other. That's why they go to a bank and apply for a guarantee to make sure that the transaction is going to be successful and the delivery will be paid for. And the same applies to physical individuals and companies and banks. And very often, banks can ask for collateral in the form of property, real estate. And then, of course, the money or the property used as collateral will be given back. But when it is given back, its real value, market value, will depreciate because of the overall depreciation and devaluation processes, plus decreased purchasing power. And here we use security tokens as collateral, and security tokens price will be increasing because they are backed by the assets of this project. And the reward from the staking of those tokens will cover all my costs, both on the training and the receipt of guarantees altogether. And now let's talk about people or entities that very often use banking services. Could you please change the slides? Thank you. And you see this smiling lady in the car. We very often go to a bank in the search for banking services. And usually it's about borrowing money. So imagine that I'm absolutely sure of the day of tomorrow. I'm absolutely sure that I will be able to pay for all my bills. For example, the car rental payments, payments of utilities. And when you are able of your tomorrow, it drastically reduces the stress level. And it helps you enjoy your life. And it all becomes possible thanks to this project. You just have to understand how the world of finance works. In addition to that, we can offer the opportunity to have a job. All those people who are already members of our community, of our ecosystems, will be able to have new occupations. And I will show you those new occupations. Let's change the slides. And in 2 words, I wanted, please change the slides. I wanted to tell you one more important thing. Let's change the slides in all the rooms. Yes, thanks. And talk about the goal of the new digital evolution for 2020-2030. Here we're talking about 10 million companies and 100 million individuals. It might seem high to you, but let me tell you that this is not such a big number after all, considering how many people and companies we have in the world in total. And it would be a great advantage if companies make it to the first 10 million companies to join this project. And the companies that will be included in our registry will enjoy serious advantages, benefits. They will be also co-owners of our global investment portfolio, or they can simply enjoy the benefits of the Digital Guarantees project. And let's take a look at the market turnover that we can get in 2021-2030 simply as a result of sales of our training. Training for individuals, the expected turnover is $25 billion. Training for companies, it's $112 billion, whereas the volume of the token market is estimated at 800 billion. Plus add transactions between private and private individuals, companies and private individuals, companies in different countries across the world. And of course, smart contracts will also cost some nominal amount, like 2% per year. And just think about it. Those 2% will not just be your passive costs. It will be your passive income, because part of those commissions will go to you, because you are co-owner in the global investment portfolio, and you will be receiving bonuses and dividends as a result of the development of our project. And now let me tell you a few words in secret. On the 3rd and 4th of July, you will learn something really, really important about these 3 new professions. But I'm not going to reveal all the cards. I will just tell you what is already written on this slide. We have signaler. It's a user who participates in the Evorich community and who provides the first baseline information to people who know nothing about our project. Then the digital seller comes into play, who is a professional seller trained in the sale of indie digital products and who knows a thing or two about smart contracts. And all those people who take our training and companies that will want to participate in it will have to have a digital manager. A digital manager is an expert specializing in the NEEW back office and is registered in the digital manager list. Has to be included in that list. This kind of activity can be performed only by a licensed expert. And let's see what a digital seller will do. It's a professional salesperson who joins the company and then who deals with other companies and convinces them to buy the training and participate in the training. So signaler and digital seller will be receiving their dividends, and it can turn into your full-time job, and you will be able to build your own schedule, do your own hours, and the income is expected to be quite high. Let's go to the next slide and see what the requirements for a digital seller are. So you have to first take the training course and as a digital seller, and also register as an individual entrepreneur for you to be able to pay your taxes. So the individual entrepreneurs are called in a different way in different countries: sole proprietors, sole traders, and so on. So it depends on in which country you are tax resident in. So we talked about the digital sellers briefly, and now let's say a few words about digital managers too. And we included a whole lecture session into our training courses, but let's talk briefly about their activity. So we'll have two lists, list A and list B. List A includes specialists who will be working only in their own back offices or in the back offices of their companies. So they won't be able to work with third parties. As for the digital managers that would like to work both for their own companies and third parties, will have to be included in the list B. And let's see what kind of categories of digital managers we have. We have 5 different digital managers. So section 1 allows you to use digital guarantees for family household purposes. Section 2, 3, 4, and 5 are people who will work for other companies and not necessarily individuals. And here we categorize digital managers depending on the size of the companies they can work with. As you can see, it all starts from individual entrepreneurs and all the way to the holdings. So individual entrepreneurs, LTDs, joint stock companies, and group of companies holdings. And the bigger the company you're going to work with, the more qualified and trained you have to be. And now let's talk about training. That's what we mentioned. We explained why digital guarantees are needed, what kind of advantages they were going to give us, and let's see how much this training is going to cost. Maybe no one will be able to afford it. Maybe it's going to be too expensive. Maybe it will take too much time. Maybe it's going to be like years of training, and people don't need that. So what is our training all about? So what does it consist of? The NDE training course will consist of 15 sections, 60 lessons in total, and every section will have 4 lessons in each. Again, 15 sections, 4 lessons each. So you might be able to listen to all those courses during your lunchtime, or when you go to work, or when you're going back from work to home. We will have the electronic versions of this training as well. So what you have to do, let's go to the next slide, by the way. So we have 2 different types of training for private individuals. So you will receive both the training and the tokens for you to be able to participate in the registry, included in the registry. So as you can see, training for private individuals is split into 2 categories. Standard training for just $100, where you will be able to use guarantees for your personal purposes. Whereas the people who want to use guarantees for third parties or with banks or financial organizations will have to aim at a more expensive training plus, which costs $400. But I think even $400 is peanuts, is a very small amount, considering the bulk of information that you're going to receive during this training. So as for the training for companies, here we split our packages into 4 categories. The first package is intended for individual entrepreneurs and specialists of the so-called free trades. And the training package costs $2,500. We realize that today we are in a difficult time and not everybody can afford like very costly trainings. Then the second package is intended for LLCs, LTDs, and consortium companies plus associations. It costs $5,000. And then we have training for joint stock companies and funds for $12,500. And then we have training number 4 for holdings and group of companies for $25,000. And there will be an option for installments here as well. Companies can make their first installment and already join the training. Also, people will be able to join the digital, to be included in the digital registry right away. Of course, people have to stay in the registry for some time to be able to be the guaranteed partner in our project. And let's change the slide and see how much participation in the registry costs, how much the registry codes cost. Remember, I told you about the pre-launch and launch of the project. And there were different conditions, terms and conditions before the back office is launched and after it's launched. Participants who will join in the initial stages will be able to receive income from staking their tokens. It's like depositing, but on blockchain, on a blockchain. So if the user registers before the opening of the back office, then the code will cost $2,500, and they will receive tokens for rent as well that they can stake. Whereas if a user registers after the back office is launched, then you can see there are different categories. Individual entrepreneurs will have to pay $500,000, LTDs will receive $1,000, joint stock companies $5,000, and holdings will have to pay $10,000, but they will not receive any tokens as part of the code package. And I would like to reiterate that a private person doesn't have to pay this, because there are different set of fees for private individuals from $100 and $400, if you remember from the previous slide. And let's go to the next slide and talk about our marketing plan, because of course, this is something that everyone is interested in, how much we can make. But I would like to tell you right away that at first we're going to use the Evorich marketing plan, and then when our own back office is launched, we will use our own marketing plan. So let's change the slides in all the rooms. Yes. So remember, before the back office is launched, we're going to use Evorich marketing plan. And here you can see the marketing plan of NDE as such. So you can see that the digital sellers have their own commissions. It's people who help close the deal with companies. And both digital sellers and signalers will receive their commissions from Evorich company. And as soon as we are ready to launch our own back office, you will be receiving commissions under the marketing plan on your slides. Also, we will give you way more details during our conference in Rome on the 3rd and 4th of July. We will also tell you about our new bonuses and dividends. And I'm sure you will quite like the news, and nobody's going to tell you that we are going to do it. No, you will see that it's already done, and you will be able to start working starting tomorrow. You can start making sales, distribution. You can become the promoter of our project. And no matter what you do, no matter what role you would like to play in our project, in any case, you will not only be able to make money, and listen carefully here, you will not only be able to make money from our project, but also from the day one, you will be able to receive guaranteed income. Therefore, I don't want to go too much in detail here, but if I were in your place, I would be very carefully listening to everything we're going to say during our Congress, whether it's offline or online. you should be all ears. And you will be among the few people who will have extra advantages, extra benefits compared to people who didn't buy the tickets. Well, I warned you. And now let's go to the final part of our presentation. Everything is going to end in 3-4 minutes tops. And here I would like to tell you about the seller's remuneration. And please take a look at those figures, at those numbers. Well, I don't know where you're listening to me from, in the north of our planet, south of our planet, east or west. I don't know what the average salary in your country is, but thanks to one contract, one closed deal, thanks to one training package purchased, you will be able to bring home from $175 to $1,750 from just one deal. And this is a huge possibility, and you will be receiving them just after closing one deal. But nobody is going to put any ceiling, any limit. You can make close 1, 2, 3 deals a day or a week, but it's still going to turn into an average salary in any country, I think. Just think about it. If in 1 month you're able to close several deals for a hefty amount, like, I don't know, $12,500, then already, literally after 3 meetings, you're going to get the average salary in any country, which is $2,500. And then, of course, that's where the so-called Bush telegraph comes into play, the word of mouth. The companies and individuals will be sharing this information alike. And we are going to launch the so-called perpetuum mobile, when the mechanism will be unstoppable, and eventually it will bring about the new paradigm of how financial institutes and companies operate, but also how our lives operate. And this financial paradigm will come for decades. And let's see what kind of strategy for success we have. I will have to explain to a company that they need to first reserve a code which will be assigned after they take and pass the exam. They will have to purchase the training, take the training, pass the exam, and then after that, they will be able to start creating their own digital rating. And it doesn't matter how many tokens you're going to buy. You can buy a small number of tokens or a big package right away. And here, I will be able to register in our registry and start my business in the community, start my activities in the community. And nobody is demanding any miracles from you. Nobody is asking to do something that is impossible to do. But we all give the opportunity to everyone to use this really wonderful opportunity. You will be able to have digital guarantees issued, and you'll be able to receive funding from financial institutes. And now I would like to show you our final slides. And let's talk about real life, real things like bread and rice. Well, bread and rice are the basic products, the so-called staple products that people have been eating across the planet for thousands of years. And here I wanted to show you just one thing, one point. Many people are saying, yes, wonderful words, nice words that you're using with us. But what if something goes wrong? But you may be right. But just imagine we're just 2 years old. Find me a say a 2-year-old child that never falls down, runs around, and never hurts their knees. They fall down, they cry, they stand up and keep running on. And they get experience, and their opportunities grow every day, and they become more and more capable of doing big things and making important steps. And now let's take a look at 2019 and see what happened there. 1 kilogram of bread costs approximately $3 per kilo, which was equal to 2,206 CRUs. The reason I'm saying CRU because back then we had CRU points. So if I wanted to buy 1 kilogram of bread, I would have to either pay $3 or 2,206 CRUs. In 2021, I will have to spend only 9 WCRUs tokens. In 2023, with the expected growth of the token to $114, I will have to spend 3 CRU cents to buy 1 kilogram of bread, which will then cost around $4. And the same applies to rice, but it can be also applied to any other commodity, services, or products. And let's talk about our investments. And here I take gold because, of course, throughout thousands of years, gold has been always in demand. And also I take the shares of the well-renowned company, Ferrari, because Ferrari is one of the few companies whose shares are always can always be used as collateral, and they will always will have the same ratio, 1-to-1. Basically, you can see that in 2019, if you wanted to buy 1 gram of gold, you would spend $40. By the way, talking about the shares, if you use shares as collateral, banks would value your shares at, let's say, 70% of its value, while with the Ferrari shares, they always take it at face value of 100%, not face value, but market value, and not 70%, as in the case of other shares. So let's see, 1 gram of gold cost $40 in 2019, and in CRUs, it was 27,586. Then in 2021, you have to pay $55 per 1 gram of gold, and if you want to pay in tokens, it will be 137 tokens at 40 cents per token. And then in 2023, if everything goes according to the plan, you will simply spend 0.65 token to buy 1 gram of gold. And now let's go to the last slide and see the CRU purchasing power and go back to our bread, daily bread. And here we're not using the example of dollars anymore. And of course, we need dollars to ensure our sustenance and livelihood. But crypto is becoming and part in everyday's life. And you can see that in 2029, with 9.3 tokens, I am able to buy 1 kilogram of bread, whereas in 2023, with the same amount of tokens, I would be able to buy 286 kilograms of bread. Imagine that I put $3 somewhere in a piggy bank, and then 3 years later, I will be able to buy the same kilogram of bread with those $3, maybe even less. Whereas if I put in my piggy bank 9 tokens, then in 2 years, I will be able to buy, instead of 1 kilogram, I can buy almost 300 kilograms of bread with the same number of tokens. You might call me a visionary or a dreamer, that I'm telling you some fantastic things. Maybe I'm bad at math. Maybe I don't know how to calculate or even write, but I think I'm smart enough of putting the sufficient number of tokens in my piggy bank. You know, I'm talking to quite a lot of people and companies, and no one is telling me it's a bad idea. And I'm talking about putting aside tokens instead of fiat money or even gold or shares, but our digital tokens to ensure our future. That's why so many companies and people are waiting for this project to launch. And it is about to be launched. Just come and attend our Congress in Rome, whether offline or online. Well, hopefully I did pique your interest and make you think about it. And I'm sure that even people who don't believe us today, people who are still negative about it or pessimistic about it, skeptic about it, just think about it. Do your due diligence, because every morning we wake up and we watch the sun. And sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's cloudy. But even if it's raining for several days straight and nothing changes, we just have to wait. Sooner or later, all the clouds go away and the sun comes out. And even if we don't see the sun, it doesn't mean that it didn't rise or it's not there. It means that we have to wait until the clouds go away and the sun comes back into the sky. And I think trust your instinct, trust your good luck, the luck that brought you to our community. And I'm telling you, you've made the best choice there is. And please share this information with as many people as possible. Invite people to our Congress on the 3rd and 4th of July in Rome. And here I'm bidding you farewell and take care.